Hi everyone, Jessica here from Paper Ink Stamp and welcome back to my channel. So today's video we're going to be taking a look at another one of the prize bundles that we won for Card Maker of the Year. So this is by Funky Fossil Designs. So Sarah is one of the owners and she very kindly donated a voucher, so a sum of money for us to be able to go onto the website and basically pick out what we wanted to get. So I will leave a link in the description box down below to her website. She's got really fantastic stencils on there, so I think they primarily kind of do stencils and they do all of this themselves. I think they have a laser printer, so they are able to manufacture their own stencils, but they've also got stamps. I didn't realize before actually going on their website they did stamps, but some of these are so beautiful and I can't wait to show you and actually create some projects with them. So let's get started. So the first thing I got was a set of their two blending brushes. So you've got Funky Fossil Designs here on the handle. They are black, but they're really super soft. So I was going to get a couple of packs of these, but I do already have quite a few blending brushes, but I wanted to try them out. If I do really like them better than kind of the cheapy ones I got from Amazon, then I will definitely buy some more of these. But this came as a pack of two, so again, really excited to get using those. I did see that they had a die, so they had a few dies on there as well. This is the Thank You Sentiment die, so it's very script, but it's got thank you with a really beautiful heart in the middle, and then it says you at the end. So again, really excited to use that on a project. So now let's get into the stencils. So I did pick up quite a few of these here, and I have got the names of the stencils just to the side, so in case you want to go looking for them. So this one here is called the Slimline Landscape Stencil. So we've got the ground here, we've got a few different stencils for grass, we've got some clouds, and then we do have that cloud border as well. And I already know the kind of first project that I want to create with this stencil, and I'm going to pair it with one of our stamps. This next stencil here, this is called Fishy, and I really love this. I think it would make a really great background. It can be paired with any kind of underwater scenes, or just, you know, generally you can use the pastes and, you know, lots of different things you can do with stencils. It's quite an underrated tool, I think, but I really love this one again, and I've got a stamp set here which I think would pair with it really beautifully. Then we've got a stencil here. This is called a Star Spangled Mask. I'm really happy that they've included this piece. That is going to be super helpful because, again, originally I thought it was just going to be this piece here, but you know, otherwise I guess that would just be wastage, so they popped that in with it. So the next stencil we have, this is called Leaves in the Breeze, and I just thought this was really beautiful. You could create some really kind of subtle backgrounds for this if you've got a nice big floral that you wanted to pop on top of this, ink blend through it. Again, I just thought it was really, really beautiful. Next up, this is called Burlap Texture Background. So again, it would just make a really easy background if you want a little bit of texture or just a little bit of pattern back there. This is gonna work perfectly. So I picked up kind of some quite universal stencils. Some of these aren't majorly specific, but that's what I kind of wanted. I wanted to pick products that I was definitely going to use and ones that can just add a little bit of interest and, you know, just be really helpful to have kind of in my stash. The next one we've got, this is called Random Rectangles Stencil. So again, the same as like this burlap one, just one that's going to add some detail to the background behind your images, and I just thought this was really, really cool. Then we've got, this one is called Make Art. So you see you've got different words. We've got colour, draw, create, make art, paint, play, doodle, ink, design, and then it does just repeat over and over again. But I thought that was just a really cool background. I think that'd be cool to ink blend in different colours, maybe have something a little bit messy like you are kind of creating. Perfect for lots of different kinds of projects. I just thought that was really cool. So this one here I thought was really good. So this is called Retro Pattern Builder 2, and this is kind of really old school. I just really like this, thinking maybe we can create something interesting, some interesting patterns, some backgrounds, but you know, this could help create kind of a really basic kind of card, but again, something that could be basic but quite effective. So those are the stencils. So now I want to show you the stamps. So the majority of these are, I think, sort of a 6x8 size. They are massive. I was really surprised how big they were. We do have a smaller stamp set here, which is probably about 4.5 by 6 roughly. So this stamp set is called Let's Party. So we've got two animals here. So this kitty's got a party hat on. This one's got a cake with a candle on top. We've got this really fun cake image here. Again, another hat, and then we do have a banner, and we've got Let's Party and big birthday wishes. So again, if I just turn this over, so you can kind of see, you know, that cake is quite a good size. And I think this is going to go perfectly with our fishy background. So this is what I'm going to pair this with for a card project. But yeah, I really just love the size of these. And I think some of these designs are just really, really cute. So the next stamp set I've got, I really, really do love this one. This is called Find Your Rainbow A5 stamp set. So there's loads of different stamps in here. If I just turn this over, so jam-packed with lovely, lovely stamps in here. So you can use these arches here to create your rainbow, and what I love is it's just filled with different patterns. So every one that you stamp is going to be different. We can stamp them in different colors, and I just love that they've got these kind of block patterns in there. Of course, images like this where it's black is of course going to be the color, so we can get some really fantastic colors in here. But you have sort of smaller stamps as well, so if you wanted sort of a layer in between your two rainbow pieces, that's just going to work so perfectly. We've got some clouds in here as well, and for sentiments we've got You Are My Sunshine, I'm Here For You, Rain or Shine, Happy Days, and Find Your Rainbow. So I really love this one. I was super excited when I seen it because I'm just thinking lots of colour to stamp these stamps in. The next one we've got, this is called Beautiful Inside and Out, and again, really blown away with their stamps. Like I said, only because I didn't realise that they made stamp sets. I thought it was mainly just stencils because I have seen their products on the Craft Stash website before. But again, so I was really surprised that they made the stamps, but they're just so, so beautiful. So we've got this one here. Again, another really big one. We've got this beautiful big reef here. We've got this other little piece. And again, lots of sentiments in here. So you've got lots of stamps to build up sentiments. We've got Have a Beautiful Day, You Are Beautiful and Kind, Hello Beautiful, Beautiful Inside and Out. I just think this is beautiful. I really want to do some watercolouring with this because I just think colouring this in is just going to look lovely, and really some no line watercolouring. If I can kind of nail that, that would be really nice. But yeah, I just think this was such a beautiful stamp set. So this next one is Festive Phrases, and I just thought this would be a really great all-around kind of Christmas stamp set. And again, really, really big. I mean, we've got this one here, Have a Holly Jolly Christmas. You know, you can kind of see just how big that is. Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. These are going to be beautiful if you heat emboss them. But just some really nice sentiments, like I said, to go with some great Christmas cards that you can create. So I was really happy with that. We've also got a star in here and a couple of sort of dangling ornaments. So we've got Believe, Fa La 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 La. Again, Have a Holly Jolly Christmas, Peace on Earth, I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas, Joy and Peace, again with that love heart in the middle, Merriest Christmas, and we have Silent Night. So I really love this kind of script font as well, and I love that you've got a lovely mixture of fonts in here as well. And then for our last stamp set, we have got Feeling Sheepish. So I really love this. I've obviously just moved back to Wales, so we have a lot of sheep in Wales, so I thought this would make just a really fun stamp set to have in my stash. But again, this is going to work perfectly with our Slimline stencil that we've got here. So again, this is what I want to pair this with. We've got a couple of different sheep in here. We've got some clouds. We do have a fence as well, and we have sentiments in here. That was my prizes that I got from Funky Fossil Design. So I'm really excited to use all of these products. Again, I was really surprised that they had more than just stencils. So like I said, I'll leave a link to their website down below. Definitely go and check them out. The prices for the quality of them is just amazing. So yeah, definitely go and check that out. And let's get into actually creating a card using our products today. Okay, so I've got my Slimline stencil and I've got my Feeling Sheepish Stamp Set. So the first thing I'm going to do is just a little bit of ink blending. So you can see I've got a piece of cardstock here. So this has been cut to 8 by 3. So my stencil is just slightly smaller than my cardstock, but that's okay. I'm not sort of too worried about that. And I'm going to be using my Prism ink pads. I haven't really used these for a while. I used them a little bit in my last video, but I think I'm going to go with these again. So I'm going to take a little bit of olive green. I'm actually going to be using some of these blending brushes here. So these are going to be now strictly just for my dye-based ink pad. So I'm not going to be mixing these with my Distress Oxides. And I'm just going to wipe these in between so I can kind of use them with different colours. But we're going to take a little bit of this olive green to begin with. I'm actually just going to turn this on its side. I'm just going to come in and gently ink, so I want to make sure that I don't get into these other areas just here. So we're going to start at the bottom. Let's just make sure we're holding that nice and firm. We'll come in with this sort of first layer here. So these brushes, they are blending really nicely. They are quite smooth. So yeah, so far, so good. So there we have our first kind of line there. And all I'm going to do then is I'm just going to fill in this side here. So I'm just going to kind of try and line it up as best I can, just at that corner there. And you can see there we have kind of our first hill. Then what I'm going to do is just kind of shift it over just a little bit, just to kind of get another little layer in. So do the same thing again, just sort of lightly blend in the area where we don't have any green. And again then, let's just kind of fill in a little bit more of that section just there. So before I actually use this stencil, I am going to mask off these clouds here. Let's put our stencil into place. So let's go in with our Arctic mist. And we're just going to come very lightly off the top of our stencil. So move that out of the way. So there's our first stencil. And then what we can do is just kind of line that up a little bit with another cloud and just finish that off at the end. So what I'm going to do is just bring it down a touch. And I'm just going to bring some clouds kind of just coming up sort of behind our rolling hills. So let's bring this up again. And we're just simply going to come off that edge. Just like so. So that is how then you can use that really kind of basic stencil to just create a lovely, really kind of easy background. So we've got some rolling hills there and we've got a nice sort of cloudy sky. So now I can put my background to one side and we can stamp our images. So I've just got my mini Misty here. I think I want to use this smaller sheep here. So I've got some scrap cardstock here. I'm going to stamp 2 of these because I think it'd be nice, or maybe 3, just to have a couple of these in here. So I'm going to grab my Memento black ink, ink our stamp up. I just think that is so super cute. So I'm just going to turn this around so I can stamp this other shape. Okay, so now I'm going to just do some really basic colour in here. So I have got CG1, CG3 and a colourless blender here. So this is from the Prism range. And what I'm going to do is, obviously because these sheep are going to be white, I mean you could do them any colour you want to, but as these are white, I just wanted to add some shadows and things in here. So all I'm going to do is kind of come in here. So this is CG1 and I actually think this is going to be dark enough, so I don't think I'm going to need CG3 here. And I'm just going to kind of come in where some of this sort of detail is, a little just around the side, and it's just going to give it, say, that little bit of highlight, that little bit of shadow, rather than kind of, you know, leaving it completely white. We want to just add something in there. So I'm just going all the way around. Let's do the ears as well. And actually what I'm going to do is colour the inside of the face just completely in this grey colour, so it's going to make it look like it's got a grey face. Let's actually come in with our CG3. So add just a little bit of shadow just around, just like that. Then we can come back in and just sort of blend that out. So I can come in then just with my colourless blender, and I can just kind of blend out some of these grey shadows here. Then I'm going to come in with 550, and this is just going to add a little bit of pink to the inside of the ears, and then we can just do a little bit of blush just for its cheeks. Okay, so you can see here that I have finished colouring in, and I've also fussy cut out some images. So I also stamped these little flowers, I stamped 2 of the butterflies, and then I stamped as well the fence because I thought this would add another little bit of interest to our card. So the stamp is actually only sort of half of this image, so all I did here was just shifted it along in my MISTI, and then I just stamped it to make it look like a longer fence. So if you want a fence image, you know, you could create this to go all the way across your slimline card. So the one thing that I do want to do just for our flowers here is I'm gonna take my little finger daubers here, and I'm just gonna come back in with, say, our green olive, and just because I haven't sort of a fussy cut too close, I'm just gonna add some of that green colour just around it where we've got that sort of white border, just to kind of make it fit in a little bit nicer with our stenciled background. So I'm just going to go over that, nothing kind of too kind of precious there at all. And then I'm going to bring back in my fence again, because I could have fussy cut down all the way into these gaps. I could have used my craft knife to cut out these small pieces, but to be honest, I just kind of figured that would be a little bit much for, you know, what you're really going to be able to see here. So I'm just going to again take the finger dauber. So again, I'm taking then our olive green, and I'm just going to kind of come in those gaps in between. So it doesn't have to blend seamlessly, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just giving it that kind of hint of colour is just going to help it sort of again blend into that background. So you can, whoops, so you can see just here, if I just hold this down, it doesn't look white anymore, it's not standing out, it is kind of fitting in then with that background. What we can do as well is take our Arctic Mist, and we could just again come in those kind of gaps in between and give that kind of hint of the sky there too. So just a really easy way if you don't want to kind of fussy cut out tons of in an image like this. Like I said, there's not really much more that you can cut from this comfortably, so just adding a little bit of ink blending will help that just fit in nicely with your background. Okay, so now we can start to assemble our card together. So I've got a piece of misty grey cardstock here. I thought that would go nice just against our background. So let's take a little bit of our lawn fawn glue here. So let's get our background on. So I'm going to add some big Mama foam tape strips just to the back of this. Okay, then we can add this to our card base. And then we can start assembling our pieces. So let's start off with our fence. So just going to add some of our lawn fawn glue to this. So let's kind of have this sort of just there. Then we're going to have one of our sheep at this end. Gonna have another sheep just here. Gonna tuck one of our flowers. I'm gonna just tuck that one. Just behind our sheep there. Let's pop this flower just there. Then I'm going to pop this sheep onto some foam pads just to bring him into the foreground a little bit more. So he is just gonna sit there just in front of that one. We've got our butterflies, so I'm just gonna hold off with my butterflies because we do need to add a sentiment to our card. So let's bring back the Misty. I'm gonna just pop in a piece of black cardstock here. Let's just prep this with an anti-static powder bag because we are going to heat emboss this with some white embossing powder. So I'm going to go with Have a Woolly Good Day. Let's just line that up nice and straight in the Misty. So I love the font for this sentiment. Well, all the sentiments really. It's a really beautiful, clear, kind of swirly script. It's nice when you've got sentiments, when you've got a font like this that you can actually read. So I'm going to take my Fine Detail White Embossing Powder by Simon Says Stamp. So I just heat set my sentiment and I have just cut that out with my paper trimmer. So we can then add this onto our card. So I'm just going to add this on with a few foam pads. So just taking the back off my foam pads, let's pop our sentiment on nice and straight, and then we can add our butterflies. So the last thing I'm going to do is just add a few Simply White Nuvo drops just around my sentiment. Just to finish that off. So this is our finished card for today's video. So this was using the Feeling Sheepish Stamp Set and then the Slimline Landscape Stencil as well. And I'm really happy with how this one has turned out. Like I've said, I will leave some links in the description box down below for you to check out the products by Funky Fossil Design. They are really, really great. I would encourage you to go and have a little look. So that's it for this video. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do so you don't miss out on any future videos. So that's it for today. Thanks very much for watching and happy crafting.